Hello, welcome to my new series Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. It's a show all about the news that you looked at but couldn't be bothered to move your eyes across the screen for. And we're going to stop. There's just so much of this going around, you know what I'm talking about. It's just the same in, same out. It's all the kind of stuff that's floating around week in, week out, something to talk about. And I just thought, you know, I get so tired of, like, you just read the bloody content and stick it straight back on there. And hopefully I can throw a little bit of insight on there and, you know, provide my own sort of personal point of view. And you guys know that I sometimes highlight things that others do not, or at least have a different point of view. Let's start off with a nice big nasty one to pull out, the DLC stuff that's been bashing around. The sixth DLC, or, you know, secret map pack, blah blah blah. Okay, look, let's just break it down, right? All this is, all it comes from is Tigger on Twitter, okay? Works for DICE. Simple as that, right? He is talking to Westy on Twitter, and they have a little exchange of discussion, and he basically says, what Battlefield 3 maps would you like if you had a new map pack? Bam, that's it. It's nothing. It means nothing. I understand the logic of people trying to explain this and sort of theorize it and you know, sort of theory craft it, and it kind of makes sense in their mind. I can kind of see that. That basically, Hardline gets delayed, pushed back, there's a little gap to fill there. What are we going to do with that gap in time? Well, suddenly, ooh, what if we had an extra map pack? Great, right? Great story, great thing to think about, loads of theorizing, you can start asking people what maps they want to play on, blah 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 blah. It's not going to happen, right? Sorry, I just burst your bubble. It's not going to happen. Because, think about it. Think with your feet on the ground rather than your head in the clouds, right? It's not going to happen because multiple reasons. Hardline has been delayed. This means that they're putting a shit ton of time into doing a load of stuff with Hardline. Maybe, we don't know, changing things around, the mechanics, maybe they're adding new content, maybe they decide they want to do something different, we don't know. But whatever the reason, they've pulled it back, and it means that they're putting resources into that. There's another section of DICE which are already working on other titles, and I know this from a fact from having spoken to DICE people. They're working on other projects as well. Those guys have been redistributed and put into other projects already, so they're not available to start working on some random DLC that they just pulled out their ass and decided, hey, let's do it. It's not going to happen. Secondly, CTE. They're already doing all the CTE stuff on top of everything else. And the CTE is coming out this month, and it's going to continue. So those guys are occupied. So where's this team that are going to produce a new map pack? It's nothing. It's not going to happen. Let me say right now, I have been wrong in the past, but not often when I make these kind of predictions. So, you know, if I'm wrong on this one, I will be very, very happy to make another video and point it out and say I was 100% wrong. But I have to say, I don't think I'm going to be. I remember very clearly at the back of Battlefield 3, and this same exact discussion came along. Everyone was like, wow, you know, it's a really long time between the last map pack and the release of Battlefield 4, and everybody was like, wow, it's such a long time. They've surely got to release some map pack. Never came. It never came. So yeah, bam. That's my breakdown on that one, so have fun. And by the way, I'm not going to ask you what your Battlefield 3 maps are, because I just honestly don't think it matters, so enjoy. DLC, CTE. Let's think about this one. So the patch for CTE, loads of good stuff coming with this one. This is actually an interesting thing, and I'm only going to sort of go through some of it if you haven't been. I'll tell you somebody that you should take a look at though is Battle Nonsense. I'm going to post his Chris. I'm going to post his thing below. I've seen some neg stuff go around about Chris and his Battle Nonsense stuff. Some people saying like that, you know, he literally just rips content off of, you know, Reddit and then posts it up onto his videos. You know, at the end of the day, right, even if somebody does that, which is essentially what I'm doing in this video, what the hell does it matter? You're putting content out, you're making videos, if people watch it, or they don't watch it, so what do you want, right? But his content's very good, and I like his presentation style, and I like the way he does stuff, so you should go check out his videos, because they're really good, so I'll post that below, right? Okay, CTE stuff though, what's the main things that are coming in here? Okay, so there's some bits and pieces floating around with it. The triage thing, I think, is mainly the key thing. The triage thing that I said was coming quite a while back now, that's going to be coming hopefully in the September patch, which is pretty exciting because that's quite a big deal. And this is something that was asked way back right in Battlefield 3. So great to see that come. The HUD thing as well, the HUD is a big deal. The scaling of HUD is going to be an issue with this new CTE patch, and that's actually a really big deal because it means you're going to be able to clear out your space on screen with the HUD, and you'll be able to like scale your mini-map and all this kind of thing. That's going to have a big impact on sort of how you move around, what you can see, the way in which you interact with the game. So I think that's actually a really good thing as well. Context-based objectives requiring your comma rows to set attack orders. That's actually another really good one. It's kind of a minor thing actually, but it kind of will, you know, help out. Basically what that would be is if you're lining up to assign an objective for your squad and you're pressing Q or whatever, if there is an enemy running past the objective, you can sometimes spot them, or reverse that, you want to spot the guy and it hits the objective instead and you didn't mean to. So now you can choose to turn that on or off, context-based objective, which basically means you can choose that you have to use the comma rows to actually set your objective rather than just pointing and clicking at it. So that's actually, again, a pretty interesting positive change for those people that want it. Footstep audio increases, which in my opinion is, BS. A lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of the competitive guys, I'm sure that X Factor and those guys will be loving louder footsteps. It actually annoys the crap out of me. I really wish there was some perk which enabled you to have quieter footsteps, because it really annoys me when I'm trying to be careful, but in my mind, when I'm playing the game, you have to move quick to get in on places. Walking around going clunk, 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 it is not really prudent when you're actually trying to get in on something fast without the guys noticing. You're trying to make a flank, which, let's face it, is critical in Battlefield. So I don't really like that, but I'm sure that loads of people are people that like to have their their surround sound headsets and turn it right up so they can hear every pin drop behind them. So yeah, there's some other minor things as well, like the trees and bushes. They're going to be moving around now because you have downdraft from the helicopters, and that's a kind of environmental change. So there's lots of refined things coming in with this CTE stuff, and of course there's going to be some changes, I believe, with the suppression, minor changes there as well. There's lots of little tweaks and pieces, but the truth is we don't know entirely the defined list of the things that they're going to be coming in until it's actually patched and posted out, and they'll post obviously the patch notes and all the rest of it. So we'll see it then, but it's on the way. Okay, last thing I'm talking about is the Amazon Twitch deal. Now this was something that's been bashing around this week, and obviously it does affect a lot of people, and a lot of people are kind of interested in it. And then of course there was the whole DDoS attacks as well, which is a load of crap, but I'm not going to talk about that. The Amazon purchase of Twitch. Now obviously a lot of people were thinking about Google was going to get it, and a lot of people were like, oh god, Google, they've got YouTube already. It's actually kind of turned around and bit them on the ass a little bit, because basically, according to Forbes magazine, the reason that Google couldn't actually get Twitch, it's to do with sort of competition laws. So basically Google already has YouTube, which is in direct competition of Twitch, and it's basically come in and said, well, okay, so you essentially can't buy Twitch because you're already sort of you're going to end up with a monopoly, right? So it's a competition law, and it's developed to regulate anti-competitive conduct by companies. So they actually come in and sort of it's kind of blocked it, which is really interesting, if that's entirely true, of course. So Amazon come in as well instead, and now they've gone in and picked it up. There's been numbers bashing around about like $1 billion and stuff, but again, it's not really been confirmed. Amazon finalized its purchase of Twitch though for $970 million in 2006. Google acquired YouTube for $1.56 billion. So it's still that kind of ballpark figure, like $1 billion. It's a hell of a lot of money. But yeah, Amazon. So where are we going to go with Amazon and Twitch? It's kind of interesting. Twitch have already started to like branch out into other things besides video games, because Twitch have been locked down with video games for such a long time, and now they're going to be branching out into sort of other things. And I actually think this is a really good thing, because the streaming thing with YouTube, it just doesn't really work that great. It's like, if you've ever tried to do it, the way to set it up is a massive pain in the ass. It's really not very simple at all. I did do it because I did a stream a while back where I did illustration, like live illustration. I was just relaxing for the evening and people came and watched, and I really liked it. So I hope that Twitch actually do that so that I can start streaming other stuff as well on top of this content. So there we go, guys. That's my video here. Control-C, Control-V. It'll be coming next time. There's no schedule for this series. It's just when I see stuff come up that I think is worthy of talking about. Expect it very much at the beginning of Hardline, Jesus. But basically, this series is going to run when there's just, oh man, you know what I'm talking about, right? When there's like literally everyone is talking about one thing, and it's just like ba 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 ba, just bouncing around between people. So this is where this series is going to go, and hopefully with my sort of attitude towards things on it as well. Drop your thoughts below, guys. I'll see you next time on Control-C, Control-V.